How do you airbrush a face? How do you airbrush effective skin tones? By no means is this the comprehensive answer. For that, you should look at the Mongol PDF tutorial where we explore the subject in a bit more depth. But here is a way. Here is a sample of what we can do here. I begin the process by airbrushing the face with Cadian Flesh Tone on top of a pre-shaded black and white layer. The black and white will inform where the main shadows will go, and I can build on top of it. Then I use Medium Flesh Tone from Model Color Vallejo to build up the midtones. Now I'll be going in with the first shadows. For this I'm using Flat Earth by Tamiya. It was open, it was the nearest brown to me. That's the reason why I chose this. It was the nearest brown to me. I'm not so worried about the pigmentation at this stage. More than anything, I want to create the value range. So the range going from darkest to lightest. After 2 to 3 layers of the Flat Earth, I then return to my sunny skin tone and I re-establish the mid-tone. I airbrush this directly on top of the miniature and then I build with ivory. So I upend my airbrush, I add ivory to the sunny skin tone, the previous mixture, and I build on top of that. What we'll end up with is a value range going from darkest to lightest. Now I need to work on the pigmentation of the skin. This is where the colour balance comes in. If you would like further detail on this, I refer you to the skin tone, the Mongol skin tone tutorial, where we have slightly more blue towards the underneath, magenta around the middle, and yellow towards the top. In this example, I've used Incubi Darkness directly from below in a nadir shadow in order to introduce this blue, almost like a 5 o'clock shadow, to the skin. I need to warm the skin tone here. In this case I'm using Deep Red by Scale 75. You could also use a range of magentas and reds to oranges for this stage. I've mixed this with Games Workshop Forge Worlds Thinner, so it's around a 50-50 mix between the two, and I'm airbrushing this across the central axis of his face, across his nose, across his cheeks. Next up I'm using Sol Yellow from Scale 75 and I'm airbrushing this directly from above in a zenithal highlight. This will add further pigmentation to the skin, and if done successfully it will almost look kind of like irradiated. It'll almost look like you've taken a picture and upped the saturation on everything. Finally I finished the painting process by adding tanned flesh across to modulate everything, to bind everything together. And this leads me on to the next stage, where I can refine it with a brush. So as you can see, we have a good balance of blue in the shadows, magenta to red around the cheeks, yellow at the top, without it looking too unnatural. From here, this is a basis on which we can develop with the brush. We can also do this with, we could do this with any miniature that we like. The airbrush imitates shadow and light by virtue of where you are airbrushing from, the angle. So feel free to do this with your Games Workshop miniatures, and I'd especially advise you to do it with busts and larger figure pieces. This plots out the lines of light and gives us a good indication of where we need to develop the lights, the saturation, the hues. Thank you very much guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'll catch you with the next one. Bye bye.